Hello and welcome everybody to Spaghetti Wednesdays, where we throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing Masks, a New Generation, and we're going to get started. Augury, please make me a take powerful blow roll.
Ratio.
Take powerful blow. Let's see.
That
That roll is roll plus conditions,
Yes.
which should be just a normal roll, right?
Yes, because you don't have any conditions at
should
this moment.
just on the sheet you should just roll next to conditions, or there should be a button there.
There is no situational bonus or penalty for this?
Not at this time.
Okay, and my result is a 6. It is a miss. Which means
That's good.
that means I stand strong and I mark potential as normal and I get to say how I weather the blow.
As
Now the problem is though, I don't know what sort of blow I'm weathering, so I need context now.
Yes, exactly. As this mechanoid machine that has busted through the side of the train, along with 5 of its other brethren, those 5 now laying in heaps of scrap, takes a wild haymaker type swing at you.
Alright. I open a small portal in the air next to me, and I draw out some of the crystalline matter from the world beyond the wall and array it into a shield in front of myself to tank the hit.
As you do so, there is some strange reaction as the metal of this thing touches the portal. For a split second, you feel as if it might shatter. You're not super confident it'll hold. But at least for this one hit, it does seem. Eclipse, as you pull yourself from the wreckage of one of the machines, having been knocked prone previously after one of them had a small detonation, you're able to shake it off. How do you want to respond to this last standing threat?
I'm gonna... Does it seem to have like a way of like seeing?
It's
This is a Mechinator, and I don't.
You know what? Why don't you give me an assess the situation roll? That is your roll plus superior. All right. Unfortunately, on a miss, you're unable to tell anything. It seems to be able to respond to movements, but you don't know how it's able to do so. You don't see any sort of sensory equipment on it.
I'm going to just look to anyone, try to find anyone else who can hear me.
Well, right now you see Augury currently right up in this thing's face, as it might be. What is... I will get better at these names, just give me time. Coriolis.
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 We're on the train, correct?
You're on the inside of the train as you kind of look about. You're somewhat in the middle of things, somewhat behind Augury and somewhat in front of Eclipse. However, directly to your right is the cargo. It had to be moved during the explosion of the last one, which unfortunately that fell to you to do at that very moment. Hence why it's right beside you.
I see. Then, if there are explosives, or the mechanized warriors are actively going towards the cargo, so I'm going to probably assess the situation.
Okay.
Nine a hit.
All right.
And
So,
one question.
yep.
So, I guess my question is, what here, or no? How could we best end this quickly?
The
Since
best.
I want to especially preserve the cargo, but also just manage to get rid of all the mechanized warriors that are in the air.
Well, it seems like the mechanized warriors that are down don't seem to be in any danger of exploding. There are some sparks coming from them, severed components and the like. The one that exploded seems to have been oh god, what's the word? I just completely blanked on the word. A fluke. It seems like its power supply happened to be damaged and that caused the explosion. As you look through the hole that they made as they entered the train car, there doesn't seem to be any ongoing threats. So right now, the best way to end this quickly would be to just eliminate the last remaining one that stands in the car. Though these things have proven to be somewhat resilient.
Augury, Eclipse, if we can just get access to their power supply and just take them out that way, I think we can end this quickly. Coriolis just kind of prepares himself as he essentially gets into his fighting stance. Activating his powers a little bit, and you can just kind of see like little pieces of dirt and debris within, pieces of metal just kind of like start to levitate around him. A little fraction of his power, like 0.1%.
That brings us back to you, Augury. What would you like to do here?
Oh.
Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
Oh.
Can't hear you. Yes.
Yep, we can hear you now. Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties, everybody.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Always happens. Well, not always.
Always. Oh. Well, we can hear you now.
Well, we can hear him, but
He couldn't hear
we
us.
can't hear us.
Oh.
So, while we wait for that, Eclipse. Hopping initiative, as it were. What would you like to do? Eclipse?
Yeah.
What would you-
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'll use some shadows to try and restrain it.
All right. Give me an unleash your power.
Wait. E.
7. All right. On a hit, you do it. On a 7 or 9, mark condition. So, I would recommend Insecure as these shadows form around the mechanized unit. But as they touch it, its metal surface almost seems to start to reflect light off of it, almost becoming mirror-like. causing your shadows to be somewhat unstable as they try to maintain their grip. Any little jostle at this point might free the mechanized unit, which brings us back to Augury.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank God. Right, so what did I miss in the brief moment that I couldn't hear any of you?
It is your go. Eclipse just unleashed their powers to try and restrain them. It was not as successful as one would hope.
Okay. So Augury can see into multiple dimensions, so I was expecting her to try and expand her senses using her powers so that she could maybe get a glimpse of this power source and try to deal with it from there. Since she's presuming that this isn't something conventional, that ordinary robots would not be able to give even some rookie superheroes this much trouble.
All right, so mark your doom track if you're using your dark visions.
I wasn't thinking of that, honestly. But
Just
you know what? This is
powers.
better, so I will.
All right, so rephrase it in a question so I can give you a truthful answer.
Okay. Where is the power source in these robots located?
Slightly off-center to the left of the main chest, where you would classify the chest cavity, the most heavily armored spot.
Can you not hear me again?
No, I just answered it.
No, we can.
I can't hear you again.
Oh,
All right. So while Coryn gets that fixed, Coriolis. We will say Augury does share that bit of information.
Okay. So if that's the case, then I think that Coriolis is just gonna go ahead straight for the attack, or straight for the heart, and he's just gonna reach his hand out and try and consolidate gravity around that particular piece in the Mechanized Warriors and just crush the power source there. So I guess that's a engage a threat. Seven to hit.
7 to hit. Pick one.
It's only one Mechanized Warrior, right?
Yes, on a 7 to 9, you get one of those options. Obviously, resist or avoid threats does not make sense right now.
Yeah. I suppose then just create an opportunity for my allies.
All right. Now, just to make sure I am not insane, I believe that in combat, when you do this, it also classifies a trade in blows.
Yeah, which is I think the point of the resist or avoid their blows.
True.
So I could do that, or well, what opportunity would be open by just crushing the power source, or the area that's shielding the power source?
That would be creating an opportunity for your allies because you'd be weakening the armor of this
that's
thing. So up to you. Do you
Okay.
want to resist their blow, or...
I think I'll create the opportunity.
Okay.
I can hear you again.
All right.
Hello.
Don't know what's going on.
I'm crushing away the robotic chassis of the power supply, so that way you two can easily access it and attack it.
Okay. So, what did I learn from my dark vision?
You had learned that the power supply is in the heavily armored chest to the left side. Slightly to the left. So it is in the most heavily armored region.
And
I mean,
my blow.
that's where the human heart is. That's an interesting design choice.
And with that, I want to say go ahead and take a condition of angry, Coriolis. The reason I'm saying this is you were targeting the innermost mechanism. Like, you're 100% sure of that. However, you're starting to notice there are things about this unit that do not make sense. It seems to be able to resist to a certain degree powers being used on it. So the fact that you only crushed the outside of it when you know you had your powers wrapped around the cores, it's irritating.
It's interesting. But I guess it would make me angry, yeah, sure. I'll take it. I like conditions anyway. My whole playbook is all about having conditions.
I think everybody's playbook is. So, with
Well, me
that,
especially.
Augury, did you want to do anything outside of dark visions?
Well, now that Augury knows the truth about where these power sources are so we can fight these things consistently, and I'm expecting there will be more, she's just gonna go for it and try to rip the thing out of the wiring and pneumatics or whatever's connecting it to the rest of the machine.
All right. That would be directly engage a threat, I feel like. So do that at a +1 due to Coriolis's recent damaging of the chassis.
Okay. Boop. I think that
It's a hit, so you pick one from the list.
You pick one from the list. However, I can either give a condition or I can make you take a powerful blow as you trade hits with this thing. Which, as soon as you do strike it physically, Eclipse, you see that the way its body jerks, it gets away from your shadows. And because it's getting away from the shadows, I feel like taking a powerful blow here is what's going to happen if you don't resist or avoid their blows here.
Well, Augury is probably just gonna go for it anyway. I'm thinking about the take something from them option. Can I use that to take the power core out of this Doombot without destroying the power core in the process? It might be interesting to study.
I'm gonna tell you what here. I'm gonna say yes, but that yes comes with a condition.
Okay.
Once you remove it,
I mean, you were gonna...
once you remove it, it's gonna be on a timer. It will explode.
Are you serious?
I'm giving you the ability to take it from them. And also, I will allow either Eclipse or Coriolis to step in to attempt a superior roll to see if they can neutralize the explosion. If not, you will be taking a powerful blow from this thing as it explodes legitimately in your hand.
Okay, that's fine. It makes for good drama.
Wouldn't it be Savior, though? Because we're trying to save him from getting blown up.
Superior here is the
That's fair.
intelligence, so this is high-level tech.
That's fair.
Right, so what happens to me first?
As you yank
So-
out this thing's power core, it immediately crumples to the ground, falling inert. The power core is probably from your fingertips to about the middle of your forearm. So
So it's big.
and roughly about, a good hand size. You can't get your fingers all the way around it. It is disturbingly familiar to Augury. All of you would have noticed that these are all robots of a villain that is known as the Mechinator. However, you guys have had some run-ins with the Mechinator here and there. One, his bots have never been quite this resilient, nor have they ever had a power source that is so eerily familiar to you, Augury. It's at this point that it starts flashing a bluish green light, and the flashing starts slow at first and then begins to pick up speed.
If I can tell that from the split moment I'm holding onto it, it clearly didn't have a very long fuse time.
Coriolis is going to try and quickly, realizing that the last explosion happened from a fluke, faulty power source, he's going to try and immediately come in and step in and try and do something about it. So I guess he'll roast superior.
I believe that's a decent
You're supposed
roll.
to say what you're doing rather than...
Well, it depends on whether or not I miss or hit, which I missed.
Well, shit.
Take a powerful blow, please. For both of you, since you are both near it. Eclipse,
Oh, yeah.
you watch as this thing explodes. In a blinding
The
flash
wonders
of
of
light.
shrapnel.
Yes.
Let's see. Powerful blow. Any situation?
No.
Nope.
I thought.
Oof.
Oh.
So, on a
Well.
7 to 9, choose one. You lash out verbally. Give your ground, your opposition gets an opportunity. You struggle past the pain, mark 2 conditions. Your opposition is currently laying on the ground in a pile of melted metal at this point, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Nor does, well, I'll let you choose between the two that do make
Unless
sense.
I got an opportunity against the Mechinator, maybe. Unless he got an opportunity because of what happened here. I don't know, maybe the explosion was specifically engineered in a way that it would only blow up because, hey, I'm acting as a signal beacon for some ne'er-do-wells getting in the way of your evil plan, Mr. Mechinator. So now, he knows where we are.
As
Though this would also imply that Augury knows that, which, well, that's a terrifying degree of familiarity.
so, I still do not believe that second one makes a lot of sense. So, pick between
That's fair. It was just an idea.
1 or 3.
I feel like number 3 makes the most sense of Augury, because this was her idea. I don't feel it would be appropriate for her to try and blame someone else. Especially because her rather long come to understanding of personal loss means that she's not really going to want other people to get hurt in her stead. So
Fair enough.
I'll mark 2 conditions.
All right. Coriolis, how do you dodge or get out of the way?
Essentially, he tries to rush through and get there quickly to try and do something about the power source, but he just sees that there's just really not enough time. So instinctively, he just kind of puts up a gravitational shield of like dark matter, and he just kind of envelops himself in a little bubble as it blows up, and all the flames and energy just kind of like circumnavigate around him.
Eclipse, what do you do during these events?
I try to make sure that cargo is okay.
Luckily, these things don't have... They are powerful explosions, but they are relatively concentrated. And the explosion kind of looks like blue electricity coalescing into one location and then vanishing after a few moments.
I might need to ask about this after I mark my conditions, but I wonder if the Mechinator is concerned with collateral damage, whether he wants to avoid it or encourage it.
I don't. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, Eclipse?
Everyone went quiet again. Is my microphone still working properly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Thank
Eclipse sounded
God,
like...
I can still.
Eclipse sounded like they were going to say something, so I was waiting for them to... In the meantime, the train continues screaming down the tracks, heading towards one of Halcyon City's most prestigious laboratories. The hole in the side of the train car has a very serene landscape, despite the fact that you guys are passing what you guys know as the event, the gravitational anomaly from one of your first encounters. You can see...
I did that.
Oh yeah, that.
I did that. That's me. No, just kidding.
Well, it was a team effort and not in a good way. Not.
we didn't catch that tail end.
Yeah.
All right. So, now that the threat has been neutralized, what is everybody doing?
Augury still has conditions.
What conditions did you...
Am I supposed to decide that for myself?
I can give you conditions.
I thought you were supposed to decide.
It depends on...
Which ones do you think would be appropriate?
Yeah, it's more I give you that, and then you can give me... If you have a counter-argument, you can give me a counter-argument.
Sure.
I would personally put... Afraid. The reasoning behind that is because that explosion and that power source is uncomfortably familiar to, well, let's not beat around the bush, certain things you can do. And let's go with guilty, because that explosion could have harmed Coriolis. It didn't.
Definitely.
But it could have.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any limit to the number of times per scene I can use my doom signs? Unless it says you can only use it once or whatever.
You can keep using it as much as you want, but you will keep marking that doom track.
I'd like to use my dark visions again.
What's the question you wish to ask?
Is the author the Mechinator?
No.
Well, I guess it would have been too easy if that were the case, but there is a disturbing connection here, and we will have to learn it. Or at the very least, I will have to learn it.
Coriolis just kind of Coriolis just kind of just stretches himself out and is like, well, seems like it's another job well done, right? As he just kind of looks out at the desolation that just kind of surrounds everyone in the big hole in the train.
Augury's gonna try and fix the train car, or at least try to, like, substitute some of the walling here so that it's still, like, gonna be able to hold together when it comes to a stop.
Go ahead and roll. For you to be able to do that, I would say you would need to go ahead and give me a assess the situation roll.
Okay, so superior. Are there any penalties or situational bonuses I need to be aware of?
Guilty.
Oh, yes. Somehow I'd completely blanked on that, but yeah.
I think it automatically calculates that
It
into
should.
consideration.
Oh, it does?
So you don't have to put anything.
Oh. We'll find out if it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, looks like it did get accounted for.
Oh.
So, this would be a dramatic failure in any other system. I don't think this is that, but it's probably not going to be good.
Does it?
Do I get a gold star for my epic fail?
Does,
You get potential.
Yes. Does it ever mention
I
getting
think-
a negative other than getting potential?
I think I figure out nothing is what it is.
Yeah.
Augury's clueless. Well, I got nothing, which means I have no idea how to fix this properly, in a way that wouldn't make things worse, I guess.
Don't worry about Augury. I'm sure that Aegis will cover the costs. I mean, besides, it was done to protect the cargo, so I mean, it's a occupational hazard.
I mean, is the cargo more important than the train? This will take weeks to fix.
I'm sure that they got some pretty high-tech people who'd be able to fix this. And, I mean, evidently, yeah, the cargo is kind of important. What even is this? It's just Coriolis just kind of looks at the cargo that they've been protecting this whole ride. And is actually,
Oh,
like,
I'm
probably
curious
for the
too.
first
On the
time,
other hand,
probably for the first time, actually, like, looking at it seriously.
wait, Coriolis, are you sure we should be doing this? I'm not sure what the cargo is should be any of our business. It didn't affect how we were.
I mean, they didn't say not to look at it.
That is not a valid argument, and you know it, Coriolis.
Not a valid. I mean, it's not a valid argument that they didn't say that we should or shouldn't. So really, that's the fault of them for not.
Okay,
supplying further instructions.
if you want to open the boxes
I'm
and
gonna open the
probably
box.
be unable to send
Corey,
them
this is
back in
gonna
the
go
mail,
ahead.
then you do it. I'm staying over here.
We can just say that it kind of opened a little bit during the fight. It's fine.
So, as you look into this box, it is a long ways box. It's more rectangular than it is a square crate. It does appear to be a massive there's no other way to describe it. You know the thing that you saw Augury pull out of that machine's chest?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but the size of roughly a couch. But this one does not seem to be flashing or anything like that. It seems to be stable. All you know about this cargo was it was the only thing that has ever come out of those portals that are showing up throughout the city.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Oh, I guess my attempt to get
we're
one of the
transferring a
cores from
bomb.
these robots was completely pointless.
Not
It's
necessarily.
a power source. I mean, you can use those to make.
What was that at the end?
To make
You
what?
can use them to make a lot more too, right?
Make a big
I'm not sure if
Hang
this. Well, maybe this big battery could make a big super mega robot, but if
Hang on,
there's a connection between this big battery that came from the portals and these other robots that the Mechanist is being using.
Mechinator.
Mechinator. Ah,
I,
the Machinators.
I was waiting for somebody to forget and just do a Fallout reference.
The Mechanist. The Mechinator uses these power sources as well, so that means the Mechinator obviously has access to these portals somewhere else and is taking advantage of it. Boom. I just solved everything.
Or maybe it means someone's dealing cards.
That too.
Look,
Either way, this is deep. And
Whatever
Coriolis
they
just
may-
kind of gives his smile.
Go ahead, Eclipse.
well, whatever they may be using for it, I don't. We really know what it will be, so let's just focus on getting it.
Mhm.
Hello.
Sorry, you were cutting out towards
I
the
didn't
end.
quite hear all of
Yeah,
that.
you're kind of quiet.
Hello.
There we go.
There we go. It doesn't matter if whatever it is. It just matters that we get it to where it needs to be.
Well, it's definitely going to get where it needs to be. I mean, I'm sure that the train still runs. He's kind of looking out at the train
It's
through the big hole, and obviously, as it's self-evidently still carrying us.
yeah, it's still moving. It seems like obviously this was in a cargo hold, so it's not like this was the engine car of the train. So the train's still just chugging along.
Yep. I'm gonna close it.
Apparently, it's still attached to the rest of the train. So there's.
Yep, it wasn't decoupled or anything.
So, how much longer until we actually get there? How much longer till the train's done? That's assuming it didn't stop at any point while we were being attacked by robots.
As Robyn, or sorry, not Robyn, bleh. Eclipse and Coriolis look over at Augury. Let's take this moment. What do they see when they look at Augury? Character descriptions
Oh.
time.
Can you hear us?
Coryn?
Yeah, I can still hear you,
Okay.
Thinking.
and you can still hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Waiting on Augury's description.
Yeah. Describe your character.
Okay. So, Augury is, well, we've established the colors of her outfit previously, right? She's wearing, like, royal blue, and then white for secondary colors, and then silver for the trim.
Mm-hmm.
So, Augury is, her costume is not all that complicated. But over top of that, she's wearing, like, a robe that displays all her colors, and is kind of along the trim of the bottom, she has these silver runes inscribed on it. So it's a cloak with a hood, very in style, except very different coloration. She doesn't wear a mask or anything, so you can see what the rest of her looks like. She's got black hair, and she's a bit pale because she spends a bit too much time inside reading and stuff, and also, I mean, being connected to a dimension that is gradually draining your life force will do that. Usually, she wears long sleeve shirts and jeans. The long sleeve shirts usually not having designs on them, though on occasion you have seen her wearing some cutesy t-shirts with rabbits on them, because no one can deny that rabbits are adorable. Not even dimensional travelers.
Cats, too. That's my bias.
Do either of you...
Augury would like cats too, but she feels it would be leaning into a stereotype too much.
Fair enough.
Now, you do begin to feel the train start slowing after a few minutes as it pulls into what is essentially a glorified field station almost around one of these portals. A few agents of Aegis come over and, they pop their head into the hole and go, everything okay in here?
Oh yeah, everything's fine. We got the cargo right here. Miles.
I mean, more or less.
Few of them, two of them board, and they kind of they kick the one that Augury had removed the power core of. I thought we said no guests.
I mean, we didn't invite them.
They kind of just intruded. Gate crashers more than.
But that's why we're here. So you're welcome.
There's a wry smile on the guy's face as he kind of not kicks it, but kind of rolls it over with his foot. We kind of expected that this would be a target. We had hoped the other 4 trains that we had sent out with fake, and he kind of messes with his earpiece, with, fake cargo would distract them, but apparently not. Kind of looks over at the crate.
Who's to say that they haven't already been hit?
They've hit their checkpoints as well, and there's no damage to them, so somehow they were able to figure it out, track it, not entirely sure. He kind of sighs somewhat.
I'm sure you guys have intelligence analyst dudes who can figure that out, right?
We have a few people. Can we take them? I don't think you're partial to them, but I feel like I should ask.
I mean, we don't own them. Yeah, sure, you can take them.
You're asking us?
We just destroyed them.
He nods. Yes, I'm asking you.
Did we just lose Wyverian? I think we.
What?
Did we lose me? It would not be surprising.
Well,
Sure.
I'm
No,
back.
I can hear you.
Oh,
I don't see you on camera. I can hear you though.
oh, my internet is acting up.
Oh.
But yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh, what?
Yeah.
now your video is breaking up in your
Oh
audio.
no, the robot Mechinator.
All right.
Oh, wait. Oh,
The Mechinator has invaded my computer, everybody.
Mechinator.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I'm back.
I didn't get at the joke.
Hang on.
Uh,
Yep. I see
think-
you again.
Yeah, there we go.
I
So
knew- Okay, there we go.
he kind of smirks. Yeah, I'm asking you because, quite frankly, if you guys really want, if you really wanted to keep them, you could probably blast me into next week, and I would prefer to not be blasted into next week. So I've learned to just ask for permission.
I mean,
W-
that's
Coriolis
smart
just-
of you, but
He just kind of looks at Augury.
I don't know why we would ever even do that.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Unless you have bad plans with it.
Uh,
Do you have plans? That's not.
Augury-
You probably.
Augury kind of goes over to and lifts one of the dead robots. This looks like the Mechinator's stuff.
Kind of
What
looks
she
at.
said.
Turns back to the Aegis agent.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like too. Do you have anything else to tell me, or are we just... I mean, the Mechinator's somewhat of a small fry, as it were. Bronze
The
Age.
power sources that these robots had is kind of the same as the cargo we were carrying. There's a connection there.
Okay, so this is going to be my first interesting roll here. Right, give me one moment. Give me a moment here because
I'm the friendly Nova. I
wasn't aware that
overshare.
you rolled dice in this system.
I have no idea what Coriolis is on about. I would like to call my lawyer before I say anything.
Well, see, here's the thing. He is an adult. Adults automatically have influence over your
Yes,
characters.
that's what I was figuring. He's gonna try and tell me how I'm supposed to be.
So, as soon as you say that... Oh no, my internet's going again. As soon as you say that, he strolls up to you, literally looks down and gets into your face. You want to run that by me again? You think it's funny, what you just said? You don't realize what you just said, do you? Feels like he's trying to intimidate you.
Intimidate which one of us exactly?
Coriolis.
Intimidating. So what would happen if I accept the influence?
Yeah, you would
Trying to make me feel bad, like superior.
You already have insecure. I feel like this. Oh wait, do you
I
have
have angry?
You have angry. You would get the choice of afraid or insecure.
I have insecure.
Yeah. Coriolis, you would get your choice between insecure or afraid.
I'll reject the influence.
Give me a roll.
8 hit.
So on an 8, you get to choose one: clear condition or
I only choose one.
yeah. Clear a condition, shift one label up and one label down, or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
I'm going to... I'm gonna clear my angry condition. And just kind of immediately do them wrong is like, no, I didn't say anything funny about it. There is a connection. I mean, the battery here, and he just kind of turns around and just opens up the cargo and stuff. It's like, you can see here that this battery here is connected directly to the chassis over here where the main power supply of the robot is. This isn't something that I particularly find funny. This is something to help you all. So if you kind of want to get in my face again and talk more about how much more you know about these robots, given the fact that we destroyed them, I mean, by all means, you can go ahead and refuse our help. After especially, was it this agent who said that we could just blast them into next week? Or was it their buddy?
It was actually this guy.
That's not a card. Yeah. So, or considering that we are heroes and well, actually, Coriolis is not dumb enough to make a threat like that. But he is acting to prove him wrong by just, dude, I'm trying to help you. I'm not scared of you. What are you trying to do here?
Look, what you just said doesn't make any sense. That thing is the first thing that has ever come out of those portals. Which means that if those things have the exact same power supply as you're implying, that means either they came from there, which means that the Mechinator has gone there, or something from that side has come over, stolen these, and is using them to try and retrieve this. Neither of those are comforting ideas.
I mean, both are very both of those are logical explanations. Just because you and Aegis doesn't know doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. An absence of facts does not mean that they don't exist.
He takes a deep breath and sees if he can get the other two of your team members to either back you up or maybe back him up.
Look, can we all just cool down? Coriolis was just trying to help you guys. I mean, he's just saying what we know.
Yeah, I don't mean any ill will by it. It's just observations we made. And he smiles again.
It's the flippant attitude that I'm taking issue with.
I mean,
Was that also in character?
that I agree with.
That was.
Excellent.
That I agree with.
That's his superior showing.
As he looks over at Eclipse, what does he see?
He sees a girl around like 18, blonde hair up in a ponytail so that it doesn't get caught in anything. More for like a modern suit of the colors black with indigo and some bits of white so that there's some accent. And yeah, it's kind of like streetwear. She's very fashionable for a superhero. So, and it goes over to her everyday life. She's very into the trends and all that. And she has a cat
Nice.
named Luna.
Aw.
Is the cat with her?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I feel like I need to ask that question.
Okay, this will be
Responsible
a different
heroes
game.
don't bring their. I mean, usually.
Well, that would require me to be responsible first.
Looks back. All right, let's get these off the train. Get you to where you need to go. It's probably only about another 15 minutes out. And as they begin to haul these robots, as they were, you can see the bluish black vortex that is one of these portals. You can see the various tents stake around it, as obviously they have been assigned to guard this area in case something is to come out of it. This is probably roughly about the fourth or fifth one that you've seen. Yes.
So, previously, you have described that Augury finds the technology of the Mechinator to be very familiar. Could you tell me why?
Oh, I had stated, especially the explosion is very reminiscent of certain things that you can do with your powers.
That doesn't make any sense, though. I don't draw my power from that sort of weird battery. Unless... I have a theory. I suppose we'll get into that later when we try to jot down our science notes.
The train begins to take off again. Coriolis,
Yes.
what do people see when they look at you?
Coriolis is a masculine presenting individual, a bit tall, for his age. His background more so is, I guess you could say, like a mix between like, well, I guess we could say like Middle Eastern, like East Mediterranean. He's kind of just have like normal skin, maybe some like acne that kind of like roaches up onto like his shoulders a bit. That kind of it gets exposed a little bit from his collar onto his neck. Signs of puberty.
You can get
And
acne on your neck?
you can get acne on your neck, yeah.
You can also get it on your back.
My neck, my back.
I hate remembering that period of my life.
And I guess you could say that for his costume in general, aside from like the array of colors that he has, it's kind of a pretty solid uniform and well manicured costume that kind of fits well with him. And I guess externally, psychologically, it kind of represents his desire to be seen as more of a person of control and wanting to have that system when his powers are kind of anything but. So it for him, it looks like that, his costume is very well put together and it has a nice pattern and symmetry. It's very sleek and it fits to his body well.
So
No capes.
Coriolis
No
is
capes.
he's projecting order and control because he's trying to seem like something he is not. So
Something he wants to be.
it's the classic.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say order, but like controlled chaos. Definitely. Like controlled chaos. There's a method to the madness. Keyword being method.
Less so madness.
Well, to everyone,
We will
it's madness.
So, as the train has begun again, is there anything anybody wants to do before it arrives at the station in roughly about 15 minutes?
I'm just gonna play around with shadows because I'm feeling insecure about hours earlier. It almost went very
Is that
wrong.
agent still here?
No, they have unloaded the machines and then the train took off.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
Actually,
So,
we should have pierced his mask, to be honest. Ah, it's a missed opportunity. Oh, well. Nothing bad will happen. I'm sure.
do you two want to go get food and talk about what just happened?
Yeah, I'm definitely down for like. Oh, what am I feeling for? Coriolis just kind of
Taco?
slumps and thinks about like what his stomach is trying to communicate to him.
How about chow mein?
I'm feeling tacos right now.
Noticing Eclipse playing with her shadows is like, did you notice anything odd with those mechanized soldiers? Because I noticed that your shadows just kind of just spazzed out a bit. And I mean, my gravitational pull and consolidation wasn't really very effective either. They were just kind of just flippant. They weren't really doing anything, you know. Our insecurities indirectly because he doesn't know that you're insecure.
I don't think it was the robots. I think just I don't know. What do you mean with your gravitational?
There was a bit of pushback, which is odd because it's gravity. You can't really push back gravity super well unless there was something interfering with it. That's not really natural. So it was Interesting.
I
I
mean,
felt something too, but I don't want to talk about it here.
I mean, maybe he's learned from, our altercations. Maybe he's trying some technology that kind of negates what we can. I don't know.
Maybe these power sources might be a source of the issue.
That could be it too. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the train pulls into the research lab.